An election year. Just send the nuke and finish this off already. The Kate Daly Show starts now.
What if the Constitution no longer applied? What if the government could write any law, regulate any behavior, and tax any event? What if you could love your country, but hate what the government has done to it? What if Jefferson was right? What if that government is best which governs least? What if freedom's greatest hour of danger is now?
Welcome, Kate Daly Show. All right, I had two guests coming on talking about eminent domain, but they're going to join me tomorrow. And Dr. Pesta might be jumping on. And then I've got Ron Baruti, the attorney that is involved in the case for Trump and the emergency filing for SCOTUS. So we'll talk about that in the next hour. We'll have Ron on. I'll have Ron on. And of course, we have so much in the news to talk about. And I want to get your thoughts and feelings on what's going on. We're looking at another hurricane coming towards Tampa, right? Milty. Milton. And it's so sad. And I'm wondering what you're wondering. I'm actually wanting your calls, 888-673-1450, because a lot of people are asking the geoengineering question. And on Friday, had a guest, Jim Lee, that was talking about the fact that the last hurricane, Hurricane Helene, was actually a storm. And can they enhance the storm? He said, yes, they can, with a particular dust. And I thought that was really, really intriguing. So I want your thoughts on that, of course, because absolutely 100% in the news. We've got Trump returned to Butler, Pennsylvania, very large crowd. And Elon Musk was there. So I want to get your thoughts on what you thought about that. 888-673-1450. 888-673-1450. And of course, Mayorkas facing this firestorm of criticism over claiming FEMA is out of disaster funds. Okay. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that too, because there is so much to talk about. Okay. All right. I'll take a caller. 888-673-1450. All right. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Kate, this is John. How you doing?
John the Wheelman. How are you?
Good. I was down there in that last storm. I have
no.
family that live down there in Amelia Island, just outside of Jacksonville and stuff. And we went through Tallahassee and stuff like that. And it wasn't just a storm. It was a full-blown hurricane.
Wow.
Those trees that were like 2-3 feet around were snapped like twigs. I mean, just the devastation. And then my ex-business partner, he fled Florida and he went to his winter home in Asheville. And all of a sudden he called me and said, John, what do I do? And he's Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, call a Mormon bishop. Maybe they got something they can help you with. He goes,
right.
I got $80. I can't get in line. People are being shot at the gas station. I have no food. I'm on my way back down to Florida for the winter time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like going, dude, I don't know what to do. And he barely escaped out of there. But it was, honestly, it was devastating. This is the second hurricane I've been through.
All right.
And this one was just crazy.
Huge. Okay, so Jim Lee was talking a little bit more about the fact that it was bigger than a storm. It was an enhanced monsoon storm that came through. So it's not I wouldn't say lesser than a hurricane, but they were calling it a hurricane. And he said that when you looked at the actual radar, when you actually looked at the footage, they were calling it one thing, but it was another. But it doesn't mean less dangerous. It just meant that they had the ability to do stuff to it. So that's kind of an interesting thought.
But I'll tell you another thing. There in Tallahassee, they have this big magnet thing that spins around like a gyro or whatever.
Right.
And it kind of went. This is what was weird is I have friends that live there too, and they go, it went right out and around us. Didn't even touch our house.
Really?
And you could literally feel the barometric pressure. I'm like going, well, then we need those things everywhere because whether or not you call it a typhoon or hurricane or wind gust, 130 mile an hour wind, Kate, when you see a tree that literally you could hit with a semi and not tip over, just snap like a matchstick.
Jeez.
And hundreds of them right in front of your eyes. You're going, this is unreal.
Yeah.
You just hunker down. But yeah, I spent all day one day just picking up twigs and dead birds and crap like that. So, but yeah, It's not a good time to be in Florida, not for the next month or so.
Do you think it's strange timing? And I'm going to put this out there because a lot of people are thinking that with Florida as a swing state. Do you think it's strange timing for all of this?
Well, it happens this time every year.
Yes.
2 years ago, I remember talking to you on the phone,
Mm-hmm.
and Delta offered me
right.
$5,000 for my ticket to get off the plane and let somebody else, because they were selling tickets the day before it hit Fort Myers, where I used to work a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They're selling tickets for $8,000 to fly out, and I told my wife, I said, "Honey, this is $5,000. This is more than I make in a month. Come on!" She's like, "Don't you dare!" So I got on this plane the whole time. And my friends that stayed and took the money, were like, "John, it was the easiest $5,000 we ever made." I was so ticked. But you never know. You never know. I mean, I believe DARPA is our enemy, to be honest, and now I'm probably going to end up dying because I said that on air. But yeah, it's weird. But hey, take care. It's good talking to you, Kate.
Thank you. Thanks for the call.
Bye-bye.
Really appreciate it. Love boots on the ground. That's always intriguing to me, and I feel like we're going to get the best reports from boots on the ground. And so this storm coming in, this hurricane coming in, they're saying Cat 5. They usually project it over the mark. So this will be interesting to see how this turns out. And you know what? The manipulation question, I think it's a fair question. I do. And I know it's hurricane season. I get it. I just think it's a fair question to ask because of what we can do. And I don't want to ever deny that we have the ability to do it. Hi, caller. Welcome to the show. Go right ahead.
Yes, I heard Jim's, Lee's interview on Friday, and what he was talking about was a tropical storm that was directed by altering the high pressure levels. So that's why it went over the mountain range, he said. Now, he said he has the scientific data. I like to get more details about that data and sources and so forth. But it wasn't the intensification, it was the directing that they're doing of the manipulation. Regarding FEMA has a huge amount of assets. They bought up all sorts of assets for so-called crisis where you have to house people. And you know, any constitutionals, no one's a constitutional unless they want to abolish FEMA. If you voted for constitutionalists, we wouldn't have FEMA, and everybody's pocketbook would be a lot fatter so they can take care of their own catastrophes and handle their own weather problems, and along with their friends. We have to get back under the Constitution. And regarding hurricanes, you know, in America, we had one hurricane. It was 8,000 to 12,000 Americans died. There's been several where 2,000 to 3,000 have died. I mean, we've got to keep this a little bit in perspective. I guess it's 250 or so far. But we got to get rid of FEMA and start getting back under the Constitution.
I agree with you. Thank you. Is FEMA infested with DEI? Diversity, equity, inclusion, the gobbledygook lies? I would say yes. They're prioritizing, right? This is from Boots on the Ground. They're prioritizing the LGBT community in helpfulness. That's a strange thing, you guys. And maybe not helping those that are maybe the white prepper type, something like that. FEMA has been weaponized. It has been politicized. It is an agency in which it's threatening people not to help. I know a lot of people going in on the ground that are saying, look, you have to drop it off at a church in order to get it where it needs to go. So FEMA doesn't take it because it'll take it from average citizens. People just have no idea what's going on. Hi, caller. Welcome to the show. Go right ahead.
Hi, Kate. This is Tom from the Great Socialist Valley up north. I caught the Jim Lee interview, and he said that the sustained winds did not exceed that of a tropical storm. But however, the damage that can be caused is by tornadoes that are spawned. They can be spawned in a tropical storm just as well, and they can spawn them with very good accuracy with the weather modification apparatuses that they have.
That's
basically what Jim Lee was saying. A tornado there can be an F5 tornado within a tropical storm.
Right.
And not too likely, but it'd probably be more like an F3.
Interesting.
But
yeah.
But yes, tornadoes can snap trees right off at their roots.
Yes.
So
you're right. You're right. I love the.
Go
ahead.
And the orographic lifting is what dumped all the rain. They just stalled that storm right up against the Appalachians, and it just dumped the water right there in western North Carolina.
Yeah.
So I'm a total believer that weather modification exists, and it's being used and weaponized against us as well as other people in the world.
Amen, brother. Thank you. Really appreciate the call. Really appreciate these calls, and I am going to really agree with that. By the way, if you wanted to look at that footage, it was about, I think it was an hour long, and you can see as they guide you through the footage that Jim Lee was talking about, and it was, all you have to do is look up this on YouTube. It's Stella Q, okay, 3306. Stella Q 3306. And I would do that. Look at the footage. There was something very unusual about it, and I think Jim is onto something there. I don't know about the radars, about the radar doing it. And he was adamant that it wasn't the radar, as we've been told by Dane Wigington and a few other people that are out there into thin air. Lots of different people out there. That's a name of a page that are talking about that. So there's a lot. It's worth looking into, right? Because a lot of different opinions on this. But the opinion overall, no matter which one you think it is that it's manipulated. And we have too much of a history. They were celebrating the 70th anniversary of the fact that we have weather modification. And then they tell us that if you say that out loud, you're a conspiracy theorist. They were literally celebrating the 70th anniversary. What does that tell you? I mean, it's so in our face, the lies. It's just asinine that we have to put up with, you're a conspiracy theorist if you say it out loud. But we're going to go ahead and do a celebration on the fact that we can do it. Just don't say it. Just don't put it out there. I mean, this is insane, right? This is insane. So I want to get boots on the ground. If you're there, call up. Our show is everywhere, all over the country. We are also in Tampa. That's going to get hit. Our show plays in Tampa. Be right back. Kate Daly Show, KateDalyRadio.com.
Retirement will be here before you know it. Get ready by listening to Your Family and Your Retirement with Abe Ashton of Ashton & Associates. Tuesday evenings at 5:30 right here on Patriot Radio, KSGO.